Hey Alex, have you seen Stranger? It's almost time to record.
He said he was getting on just a moment ago, though his voice sounded a bit different than usual.
Hello.
Hello.
Dear God, there's two of them now! Welcome to Season 2 of the Simulcast and Anime Discussion Podcast, Divergence Cast. As always, I am one of your hosts, JJ. I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, Alex.
Yo.
And Stranger.
It's cracker like a popper.
And this week we are joined by our friend Charli, who may or may not be Rule 63 Stranger.
Hello.
And as this is the beginning of the new simulcast season, we will be doing entirely first impressions of all these simulcasts this season. So, let's get started off with Food Wars. So, what are you guys' general thoughts of the series?
Juicy meat.
Juicy meat. Very juicy meat.
Lives up to and surpasses the expectations I had for it.
I think Radow said it best. It was, exciting and intense in all the wrong ways.
Yeah, I went in with abysmal expectations after that one Shaft food porn show, but this was just so stupid it was enjoyable as hell.
It's... I'm just going to repeat myself. It's like if they mixed the food channel with hentai and replaced the sex with food.
Yep.
There was literally tentacle porn in it.
Literally tentacle porn with peanut butter. Tentacle porn with peanut butter.
That make you never say those words, JJ. We're never gonna be able to talk to each other after today.
There are so many pictures I wanted to post, but they were so not safe for work.
So that series was totally not on my radar at all. I read it and I was like, that's just gonna be stupid. And then you and Alex start talking about it, JJ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I gotta give this a try. So I watch it and it's like the most stupid fun ever.
It's just so absurd. The fan service is just so fucking absurd. It's like if they made... It's like they're making fun of hentai, but just taking all the absurd stuff from porn and just not having the sex and just making fun of it.
I liked it so much that I recommended it to my boyfriend, and he watched it the first time, and he's like, "What in the hell am I watching?" And so he watched it again with a friend, and he came back to me. He's like, "You know what? I really like this." And so today he has a couple friends coming over, and he's gonna watch it again with the second episode.
The funny thing was, after I watched the first episode, me and some friends were going to try out a new Italian restaurant. But that Italian restaurant, the food was so good that we were basically reenacting. It's like
Did you get any funny looks?
No.
Did your clothes start bursting off?
Who played the inspector?
The what?
The inspector lady. That was right.
I guess myself.
Yes, JJ, did your clothes burst off?
They nearly did.
Oh, God.
Did meat juice go up your privates?
Just show us on the stall, where did the meat juices touch you?
gonna say, like I've told you guys before, the author for the manga used to be a hentai artist, so that explains so much. Like for people going in, pretty much new, fresh to the idea.
Even if you explain that it is literally food porn, like even if you go into detail, they will not expect it to be as absurd as that.
I didn't. I went in like knowing exactly what you said and expecting something absurd. And knowing and seeing are two totally different things.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious because, like I said, I read like 20 chapters of the manga. I knew how it starts out, and I didn't even like I said, it surpassed my expectations. Especially the one part where the inspector's lady's like her breasts just like bounce up. It just reached this point of euphoric idiocy. That it was like oh my! I was like I couldn't stop smiling because it was like this is the most retarded thing I've ever watched.
Even the dude's clothes just start bursting off.
Yes.
And then that's when the meat juices happen.
The meat juices.
We gonna be traumatized every time we cut open a steak now. Oh my god, it's happening again.
I think I said after the second episode, Food Wars is the kind of series you need to eat good food afterwards just so you can reenact it.
God damn, those bacon wrapped potatoes look magnificent.
I said after I watched the second episode that I have a good feeling this will be my favorite series this season, simply for the absurdity.
Yeah, right now I think it's right behind Blockade Battlefront for me, but I was not expecting it to be as good as that. Like Alex even told us that it was a pretty good series, but actually seeing it, it's just absurd as hell.
Trying to explain it to people is funny too. They're like, I don't know if I want to watch this. It's like, you totally should. It's freaking funny.
Oh, watching Emre he looked like he was going to walk just slowly back away from us when we were trying to get him to watch it.
Well, when you describe it, when we describe it, it makes it seem like they're actually like doing the food, but they're doing it like normal people.
That's the thing. Like I think when you say food porn, people are going to misunderstand it as people using food sexually. But the thing is, it's just it's not so much that; it's more orgasmic reaction to food.
Yeah.
I guess they were thinking the wrong kind of meat juices.
I don't think we can get over the meat juices. We got over the tentacle porn, but we can't get over the meat juices.
They threw
This
that
is the
way.
title. Go
They
ahead.
got right in. The tentacle porn, it was just like within 5 minutes, just bam, right in your face. Like, holy shit, what
Like at first when she first reacted, like sort of crossing her legs and acting fidgety after after she ate the rice, it's like, oh, I sort of get what he was talking about the orgasmic reactions. And then they feed her the tentacle, the peanut butter tentacle, and it's like, dear God, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly my reaction, because I was like, okay, I see where this is going, and then all of a sudden, bam, I'm like, holy shit, what the hell's wrong with this show?
It's just it's funny, JJ, because at that point you pretty much messaged me saying you weren't lying about this.
Before that, I was like, when I saw him frying the tentacles, I was like, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. And then it
actually went there.
It actually went there. And I was like, dear God, I actually have seen enough hentai to know where this is going. But anything else about Food Wars?
I know you love the credit sequence.
Oh God, the guy on the banana.
Everyone's new, and there's
No,
and there's
that's
the guy riding. That's the thing. They block his chest, so you could be forgiven for thinking it might be like a woman. But the thing is, the guy who was riding the banana is actually like an exhibitionist. So he's going to come in a few episodes. But
What the hell?
to me, just like it's like remembering the character just says like, yeah, that makes sense for him to be riding the banana.
And I love the part in the closing where they're basically reenacting the Last Supper. So it's like it's almost basically food Jesus. in a food porn show. Yeah. So yeah, Food Wars was one of the among the more unexpected shows this season.
Yeah, it was enjoyable as hell.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, if anything else we want to talk about it, or shall we move on?
Go on.
Nothing.
All right.
Nope.
Have you watched the last JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Nope.
You're missing out on Iggy, man. Talking Iggy.
Okay.
Talking Iggy in a bird named Pet Shop.
Does he fart in anyone else's face?
No.
Why is the bird named Pet Shop?
I don't know.
Why does the
Maybe
dog
it's-
have a stare, and then why does it eat people's hair and fart in their faces?
Bird-
There are many unanswered questions for JoJo.
just accept it as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Don't question it.
All right.
It truly is bizarre.
The most bizarre show.
After we just now got done talking about Shokugeki no Soma.
Okay, yeah, you got a point there. At this point, yeah, Food Wars could easily surpass it.
Soma's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, another thing I forgot to mention about Food Wars. Some people thought we were talking about that one live-action show, food cooking show.
On Travel Channel, it was like they would go to a city and they'd pick two of the most popular restaurants to battle against each other. And everyone thought we were talking about that. It's like, I don't know. Why would we talk about that? I don't understand.
Like,
Just imagine how much more entertaining that show would be if it was actually like Shokugeki no Soma.
Well,
Oh
apparently
my God.
the host chick is extremely hot. When I was looking it up, there's all sorts of freaking risque pictures with the chick that hosted it.
We can't get past Food Wars.
Next week we add this show to our Simulcast discussion. Just like some sort of random ass Travel Channel show in the middle of all the anime.
Because of the hot host chick who's like, I don't know. Alright.
Alright, I guess if we don't have anything to talk about JoJo, you can talk about Plastic Memories.
Where do I even begin? It's the greatest. Like, just absolutely everything about the episode I loved. If it got Angel Beat sad in the first episode,
Mhm.
and to bring me something that close to tears in the first episode, it's already an out of 10 right now. Unless they just really drop the ball, it's going to be like really, really highly rated by the end of the season.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it doesn't, wind up like Angel Beats 2.0, sort of just like rushes the ending, or like pretty much sort of makes it out of nowhere, does something cheap. But I actually agree with you. Like I'm conflicted with to say my favorite premiere was for last week, because I also really liked Show by Rock. Like I was completely like floored by how good that was. But Plastic Memories so far probably is one of my favorite shows of the season.
Mhm.
And like, I agree with you, Stranger. Like I actually came close to tears when they were taking the girl robot or the girl android away, and that's sort of rare for me because I don't really cry for like stuff. So
Mhm. I was impressed by how quickly they were able to bring that kind of emotion out of me. Because I cry easily at things, but I've not cried in the first episode of anything.
Yeah, they did that like absolutely masterfully. And I also really like how they're striking like the perfect balance between drama and humor. Like
Mhm.
Isla especially, just all the tea she's in there with just the most serious expression on her face. Like, I think she's going to end up probably being my favorite character this season. This has potential to get really depressing too.
Mhm.
That's actually one of the first things I said after watching. It's like, well, it's going to be a depressing series.
Yeah.
But I will say that I've actually seen when I was talking to my brother about he took a little issue with the shift in tone at the end of the first episode because he sort of felt it was a little too abrupt, and apparently it's actually something he was looking at as sort of a point of discussion. A lot of people seemed that took an issue with them just sort of shifting to comedy or to comedic end after having a pretty emotional scene.
I actually agree. I thought that too, but no one quite said anything, so I wasn't sure if that was just me.
I can see the point, but I sort of still liked it regardless. So, yeah, I definitely agree with, like I see the point, but to me it didn't really take anything away.
Yeah,
but I will say that there's one thing that might potentially take something away, though, is that this one discussion he was looking at sort of theorizes how it might end, and it seems like it could really happen like that, pretty much. So I won't say what the theory was, and just to avoid that. But that's the thing. That now that I saw that theory of how it might wind up, how people think it might wind up, I'm just concerned it's actually going to end like that.
Well, I mean, it's from the writer of Steins Gate, and I don't think any of the science adventure series I've seen ended exactly like I'd expected.
Oh yeah.
Like just Steins Gate especially, that just took that tonal shift halfway through where it ended up just absolutely magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
So I have really good hopes for the show going on further and further.
What about you, JJ?
I haven't watched it, so...
He's not watching it. His series is Blockade Battlefront.
Yep.
He's too casual for the real best anime of the season.
I just heard even I'm watching Plastic Memories and JJ's not.
Nah.
Literally everyone but JJ.
It just does not interest me at all.
Do you not like that kind of anime at all?
I'm usually not that into tragedy, really, that much.
It's just that JJ doesn't like Steins Gate.
No, I like Steins Gate. That's obvious since I've gotten all of you to watch it, or indirectly got any of you to watch it. So there is that. But just everything about it does not look that interesting to me. So, unless something about it piques my interest later, I'm probably not going to watch it.
And before someone with huge eyebrows gets introduced.
But anyways, anything else about Plastic Memories?
Watch it.
No? Alright. Next up, Blockade Battlefront. So, so what were your thoughts, Alex?
I thought it was pretty... like I said, it took its time in the beginning to start building up. Like, I'll admit that. Like, initially... initially, I was a little... I would say it was sort of like a bored interest in it.
Yeah.
But once it got to the second half, it's like sort of just starts taking off, and they get to sort of like, this kind of jazzy feel to it, especially with the music.
Yeah.
And it's just like sort of turned in probably I'd probably say second or third favorite premiere.
Yeah.
By the end of it, because it just oozes this style.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like, I've read the manga myself, and I'm actually fully caught up with it, but the thing about it is the series is almost continuously just fun and stylish. Like, each arc is just as fun as the last. So, I actually have a lot of hope for it, if it can stick to the manga, though I'm a bit worried since it so far has been diverging. Like it's adding a lot of stuff that's new to the anime. Like like the stuff at the very beginning with the zombies and stuff, and that one blonde chick. All those are anime original stuff. Like it's not that none of that was in the manga, and so I'm curious to see how it'll diverge. Now, as far as the series itself, the manga is very episodic, so I can actually see it working towards it. But like it seems to me that they're trying to establish some sort of main story, but the manga itself, each volume is basically, or each chapter is basically a different storyline from the last. But yeah, but the series itself is very, very fun. Like, the thing that I will say about the series is it's definitely more focused on the setting than the characters. I mean, it does develop the characters pretty well, and they're all really fun. Like, Zap is basically Polnareff from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure times 1,000. It's just absurd, full of himself, and he just has so many fun moments, and just the way he mixes with the other characters like Chain and Klaus and stuff, it's just fun. He's just a fun character. But
I was gonna say, when you brought up the setting, I actually really like how it feels very different. It's like pretty much like an apocalyptic New York.
Yeah,
except whatever it is, whatever's going on, it's like some different sort of like apocalypse kind of situation.
Yeah, that's
and
the thing.
It's sort of, I'd almost say it's very reminiscent in like tone and style to me, like maybe like a better Baccano.
Yeah, that's
possibly. Generally
what it is. It's well, it's by Naitao. The original manga is written by Naitao, the guy who wrote Trigun. So it's definitely got a much more Western focused appeal to it. At least I think. But yeah, the setting wise, it's one of my most favorite settings. To summarize it up, it's basically like if you took Roanapur from Black Lagoon and just thrown in as many movie monster and Lovecraftian horrors as you could possibly find. It's just this absurd mixing of basically modern day New York with monsters being about half the residents. And it's just... And then there's this secret organization called Libra who basically make both the humans and the monsters piss themselves in fear. Because they're just these absurd badasses. And I was really surprised at how good the music is in the series. Have you watched the second episode yet, or...?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I was really enjoying the closing to it.
I could have, but by that time I was getting on, Skype to do the show.
Yeah.
And we were waiting on Stranger.
Yep. He really did disappear. But yeah, and what were we talking? But yeah, the closing. Honestly, so far it's probably been my favorite closing that I've seen yet. Like, it's just so fun. It sort of started out sort of Blues Brothers-y with Leonardo, sort of in like basically a black suit and with a fedora hat. And it was just sort of stylish, and then it sort of just regressed to being more fun, and it was just a really fun closing, I thought. But yeah, the series is just absurd, over-the-top fun, and honestly, easily one of my favorite settings from the... as far as settings go, it's one of the most interesting I've seen. Just how they handle it. But, any other thoughts on Blockade Battlefront? Alright.
Actually, question.
Mm-hmm.
How soon does that one character get his dick chopped off?
I can't remember, but let me see. I have the... Let me check the manga.
That ought to make for a fun episode.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty fun episode. That one and the one where they introduced Zed, and I think I've posted the picture a number of times, but it's the one where Chain basically says a bunch of loot stuff, but they're all censored out with different noises and stuff. That one has a lot of fun moments. Let's see. One where he gets his dick chopped off. See, there's the one with the chest. That's going to be the next episode. Let's see. This episode was... let's see. I actually think that might be a couple of episodes later. But yeah, that one was a pretty fun episode. There's another episode, or another arc. I'm not sure if they're going to add it because it didn't really have as much points or didn't have as much focus as the other ones, except for the fact that it was focusing on KK. But it was also a really fun arc as well. Like I said, the entire, if it stays close to the manga, it's going to basically be non-stop fun, honestly. But, let's see. I guess moving on, have you watched the latest Ass Class?
Yep.
Stranger? Nope.
Stranger, you gotta get in the game, man.
You missed out on the football with, what was it, Monstrous Intent or something? Or Malicious Intent or something, and Tentacles? Murderous Intent and Tentacles.
How many tentacle involvement was there with the season so far?
Well, you can never have too many tentacles.
JJ, is there something we need to know about you?
No. It's not like I have any tentacles with me or anything.
JJ confirmed for actually Kuro Sensei.
Haha! But anyways, let's see. So what did you think about the episode, Alex?
I thought it was pretty good. I sort of considered it kind of convenient that it's a baseball episode around the time baseball actually started kicking off. Yeah. So, but I was sort of, surprised. I thought it was being more like a story-heavy kind of episode after coming back from a break. But still a good episode, though. And one part I loved was in the red-haired kid.
Yeah.
The one part where they're just like pretty much Karma. They're just standing in front of the one guy, and he pretty much has a Koro Sensei face on. And that was hilarious. And I just saw Koro Sensei being out in the outfield the entire time, just like reacting to everything going on in the game.
Like 1, 2, 3, and he's just changing the color of his face. And of course,
new opening and everything, which I thought was okay. Which I thought was okay. That was a little lazy.
Lazy.
It's like
it's basically reusing like scenes and stuff, and the whole hand dance is going in different directions now.
And I mean, no reason to go out of your way to make like a special opening, but I'm just glad they kept the closing.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad they kept the closing. Oh, that one scene in the episode where Bitch Sensei is like looking up baseball, and then she's telling
like use a stick and ball,
and then it just cuts her off like right at the end. That moment was glorious. But it was it was more of a. It wasn't really a story-heavy episode. It was more of a. It was definitely more of a filler episode, I thought.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why I sort of thought it was a little bit weird to come back to that, because they took the week off, and so they just come back with sort of like you said, felt more like a filler episode than it did anything to do with the story. But he was saying, like, even with the filler episode so far of this show, there's been at least like 2, if you want to be technical, including this one. It's still been entertaining. It's probably the best like comedy to come out of the winter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's sort of continuing the trend. It was still a good episode.
Yeah. Alright, I guess if we have nothing else to talk about Us Class, let's move on to one of the more divisive shows this season, Punchline.
What in the actual fuck did I watch?
I don't know, but I don't think I liked it.
Well, you don't like people get the shit beat out of them with a bendy straw? Are you not entertained?
Is this not what we came here for?
Are you ready for the punchline?
Oh my gosh, the way she said it in cut it for the commercial.
Oh my god.
Wow.
The second most porn-like show of the season.
The Bendy Straw's pretty much this season's equivalent of the paperclip sword from Rolling Girls.
Or the half scissors from Kill la Kill.
And it's like just, like I said, that first 10 minutes of the show was such like a mess of ideas, but like I think it pulled it together afterward.
I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Like, it had, okay, to me it had decent pacing. It kept me interested, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the premise of it is just so stupid.
Just idiotic.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. It's just, I don't know, I just still liked it. And that's the thing, the person who wrote the show is Kotaro Uchikoshi of Zero Escape fame. And I know playing those, despite how stupid the premise might be for the show, I know to try to stay patient, see where it goes. I guess that's why I'm giving it a chance.
mm-hmm.
That's why I guess that's also why I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna be patient with it. Just to see it, like, despite maybe it'll explain why it has such a dumb premise. Like, I'll be honest, like when I watched it, if there's one show I thought had the potential to sort of like drop the ball completely in the first episode, it was that. And that for some people it did, but to me, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I thought the first episode was decent. Like, knowing Uchikoshi, he could probably pull off, like, some sort of just crazy impressive twist halfway through, but, like, the first episode was just a little too weird for me.
The only parts I actually found enjoyable were that one cat porn scene.
He's so nonchalant about it. He just looks at him and he's like, okay, next tab. No special look, no overreaction, just looks at him and clicks off the tab.
And then there's like a pause, and then the guy turns to him and is like, "Hey."
The bottom cat just had like the most shell-shocked expression ever. Looks like he's seen some shit.
Like I was saying before, this season, the weirdest thing about this season is how many weird cats there are. Like, weird perverted cats. Like, Rikan has that pervert cat, Mikagura has that one flying cat, voiced by the guy who voiced Aitao in, The Comic Artist. And, Rin-ne has another cat character, though they haven't revealed it yet. Introduced, yeah. But that cat has like a dude's face. Like just a dude's face on it. It has I don't even know. It has a dude's face. Is
this like the alpaca from Stargate?
Pretty much, but in a cat form.
Actually, the description reminds me of something from Frankenfran as well. Or it's one character from Frankenfran. He's pretty much an amputated head placed on a dog's body, if I'm not wrong.
Think about it like in the Phantom Blood arc from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where Dio had those dudes' heads on dogs. That's basically that, but with a cat.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Did Deemer have a hand in picking out this anime season? Okay,
Maybe.
That's got a perverted cat, and that's got a fetish.
And then we have like food porn, which is food porn, and then we have Punchline, which is basically Deemer the anime.
That is literally Deemer the anime.
We tried convincing him to watch it, and he's like, I'm not sure how I feel about this, because we said that the kitty porn scene was the best scene in the whole thing.
Kitty porn! Oh, God.
That is just the most random ass thing to say on Twitter. Oh, I like the kitty porn.
It's definitely with T's, not D's. T's, not D's.
Oh, no. That takes it a much darker direction. Breathe, JJ, breathe.
And then suddenly have having flashbacks to Watamote again.
I watched the first episode of that.
You should watch more. It gets worse.
I probably will because I relate to her way too much.
Yeah,
so...
that's the thing about her is she's the most relatable introverted character I've ever seen. But
yeah,
they just continuously get worse. It just gets more and more uncomfortable as you watch it.
I think that's the only series I've ever heard recommended with. You should keep watching it. It gets worse.
It's kind of funny. I've heard a lot of people say that the reason why that wasn't as popular in Japan as it was like over here is that a lot of people don't like to see them like I guess like NEETs over there don't like to see a reflection of themselves like that.
Because it's really looked down upon over there. Like, if you're not doing anything, there's, like, no excuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found enjoyable about it was definitely how relatable she was and just how nightmarishly... Like, that series is the only series that could ever frighten the shit out of me. Oh god, I'm having flashbacks to the scene where
headphones.
She sticks in the headphones scene. That is, like... my biggest fear ever.
What?
There's a scene later on where she sticks the headphones plug into the microphone thing, and she's listening to something she doesn't want to be overheard, and her mother walks in and
hears her.
And it's just, and then she just has this her mother just has this most deadpan look, and she's like, "I'm just gonna go elsewhere now."
Alright. I have a feeling this will be a very, very good representation of my high school life.
Yeah. But anyway, it's back on top. Were we still talking about Punchline?
I think so. Yes.
And then we got into the cat porn. Now here we are.
I'm sorry.
I do have to ask about Punchline. Like, why? There's like I said, there's one. I guess not say I'll give against Punchlines. It just seems that there are all these random elements. Like, why does Zero have to get hit by an asteroid? Just because he gets an erection again.
No, anime characters don't get erections, they get bloody noses.
So I was gonna say freaking nosebleeds everywhere. Every 10 seconds another nosebleed.
And I love how it just sort of explains it away. It's like, well, you're not in the physical world now. That's just how it is. It just sort of like throws that away.
Don't think about it too much.
It's pretty much what it said. It's like word for word. That's what the cat tells him. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah, this knows exactly how bizarre and like how it just makes no fucking sense. It is well aware of that, and it still uses it. Yeah. Oh, and like his expressions when he sees panties, it's just like the most funny, like the funniest shit. He starts jamming his fingers up his nose and just gets that super serious expression.
And it's like his head just like fills up with blood. It's like it's about to have a big explosion of it.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about the parallels there when I first watched it.
Oh, man, I gotta tell you, there's a lot of lewd. So, just for you to use an anime term, there are a lot of that kind of stuff coming out in the summer and spring that are just like so out there with the freshness. There's like, you got prison, you got this, you got Shokugeki no Soma, you got Prison School coming out in the summer, you also got Shimoseka, which is going to be just probably one of the most wonderfully stupid things ever. I'm going to say that's going to be the Food Wars of next season. Yeah. Another one, other than some of that stuff, Punchline, which actually, we'll say I like the opening and closing for it too. I don't really have much else to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yes, moving on then, I guess we can torture Alex, Adam's not here, with Nisekoi. Actually, one has been torture for Adam, now that I think about it.
I haven't seen the first episode of the second season yet, but I did see the recap episode.
It just reminded me how stupid the show can be.
I'll be right back.
Did you love revisiting it all, man?
What happened?
Did you love revisiting it all? Just all the wonderful moments of character development from the first season.
Character development. Like I said, the recap just pretty much served to like reinforce my opinion on the show. It's a funny show, I will give it that. But to me, still, the overall plot is like nothing special. The characters are just, are nothing really to me. I hate Raku because how much of a wimp he is half the time. Onodera is boring as all hell. And I don't know. It's just like
He might be a masochist.
I'm only halfway through the first season right now, and I still have no idea why I'm watching it.
I started the second season, the episode yesterday, and it's always been the thought. It's like I was like going about to watch it, and I was like, why am I watching this?
But you can't stop. You're like, I want to watch another episode, and I have no idea why.
When Stranger initially got me to watch it, like during spring last year, before I caught up to it, I only took one episode at a time. I never wanted to watch more. I was like, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that.
Well, it like has me literally like every episode literally has me writhing in awkwardness. Like I am sitting there like rolling around in my chair or my bed or wherever I'm watching it with the awkwardness of this show, but I can't stop watching it.
All the characters are dense enough to have their own gravitational pulls. Yeah. Dude, I love the screenshot I tweeted you. Please look forward to these romances hitting more roadblocks along the way. I bet you saw that. You were probably just like, fuck you, Nisekoi.
Dude, I know for my brother, just there's not a lot to look forward to. Because, even in the opening credits, you haven't seen the episode, they actually show Onodera's sister. And there seems to be, I'm not sure if this one girl, it seems like there's another assassin girl coming. So, but I'm not sure what her involvement is in the whole love circle, ridiculous bullshit that is Raku's, like, circle.
How many hero members are there in the manga now?
I can't remember, but I know, my brother said that, Chitoge's mother gets introduced eventually. That's what, and whether she has any part to play, I don't think she does, but, I think there is, right? I think there is one more person that gets introduced. So it's like probably like 8 girls, I guess.
Oh my
God. How much is there now? There's 3: Chitoge, the country girl, and Onodera. You also have the Sugami. Who am I missing? You're gonna have Onodera's little sister. There's gonna be like 7. There's gonna be 7 like girls that are in this harem.
This is like the One Piece of harems, dude. That is exactly what it is.
Pretty much. It doesn't show any signs of stopping. It's popular as all hell. So, which is, just unfortunate for me.
It only has like 600 chapters.
Here's the thing, one of my big problems with harems, or like just any sometimes like romantic show, is that, there's really no mystery to who's going to wind up. Most of the time, there doesn't seem to be much mystery to who's going to wind up with, together, or who's going to wind up together at the end. And with this series, it just seems like, Chitoge. It's like, of course, going to be her. That she's one of the focal points of the manga or of the series. I guess that's part of what pretty much takes it away from me, and that's actually what pisses my brother off. He's stopped reading any chapter that isn't about Chitoge because he says he just wants the story to move on already.
I'm gonna absolutely love it if he ends up with Marie or a shoe. That would be the
or like I said, like that one A post that I told you guys about. He finally makes a decision on who he wants to be with, then gets hit by a bus.
I'm pretty sure you would just quit. You just sit down.
I would just have like this like crazy. I'd probably have like this crazed laughter. Or either I'd be cheering because Rock is dead, but or like
probably a little of both.
But,
you just set it down with a haunted expression on your face and just wander out in traffic. Like, screw this, it's just over for me.
As for the first episode, it was, like, I'm not going to try to spoil anything. It was charming, I was smiling, at least throughout, I didn't really laugh. But I also say it was just a little on the boring side, too.
Wait, did you just say you don't want to spoil anything in Nisekoi?
Yes.
What are you about to spoil all the wonderful plot advancements?
Actually, that is pretty ironic. I just pretty much talked about, well, there's this many girls coming, but like I said, it's just so I don't ruin the surprise of the episode. That's what I was just talking about. But like I said, it was charming, but nothing remarkable, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just something I didn't watch for the story so much, as it's just a really funny comedy to mix in with all the other simulcasts I watch each season. Like, that's exactly what happened with the, what was it, the winter season last year? I loved going to Nisekoi and Tenari Nisekoi every week and just enjoying the hell out of them. So that's probably what this is going to end up to. Just going to sit there, laugh my ass off, and not think too much about the story.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd probably go crazy like you.
Crazy with blind fury and just... I was like, okay, now, back to the episode.
Oh my god, that was still the greatest moment on Twitter.
I just had this like rant, like, fuck this show. I hate this show. Okay, back to the second half.
I think I've done that a few times. Like, usually when I tweet about Nisekoi, I like pause the show and sit there and I just vent on Twitter and then I go back to it.
I say the general feeling, like, especially from that OVA that I did that reaction with, when it gets like that, I just want to walk outside, bash my head against the nearest stop sign. It's like, fuck this show. Yeah. Not a bad episode to start out the season, but a little unremarkable, essentially, to me.
Anything else about Nisekoi?
Not really, no.
No?
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to a much bigger surprise this season, Show by Rock. So I was not at all expecting that to be as good as it was. Like, I was going in expecting it just to be some stupid Moe Blob show.
Yeah, I remember you kept...
Yeah. It's like at the very beginning it's like, eh. And then when they get to that one point where they sort of switch over to, like, middle of the show, they switch over to that different, into the, like, the game or that the series is based off of, like, basically she gets zapped into it. Mm-hmm. And, like, at that moment it just switches over to, wait, what's happening? Why is this suddenly good?
Yeah.
I would actually sort of disagree about the beginning of the episode. I like how the opening was actually her just singing in the hallway.
Yes.
It was, yeah, I mean, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't really overly Moe Blob, but it was just sort of, it sort of seemed like it would have been typical for me at first, but after I sort of, like, I rewatched the episode a second time after seeing it just to make sure it was as good as I thought it was, but after I saw it again, I liked it a lot more.
Alex recommended it to me when one day I was working on my ethics homework, and I had to write 4 different papers on death, and I was just in a horrible place. I was just like, death and despair and fuck this world, I want to die right now. And Alex is like, you should watch this show. And so I watched it, and it totally brought my mood back up. Like, it was a complete turnaround. It made me happy for the rest of the night and the entire next day.
Yeah. The thing I was...
Go
ahead.
Well, yeah. I think, sort of stealing your point here, I think what you're about to get into, one of the most impressive things was the CGI.
Yeah, I was not expecting that good of CGI from an anime series. Like, it just felt fluid as fuck. Like, it was just really, really good. Like, some of the best CGI I've seen from an anime. And
you're saying, like, the sort of design themselves,
Yeah, the
it's more so cute, but nothing really too impressive.
Yeah, it's not impressive, but
it still looked really good for some reason.
It just felt more... I'm not sure. It just felt like they were actually moving like a normal person would move, or like the anime characters would move. Because the thing that I will always find like adverse about CGI in anime is it always feels a bit slower and stiffer than the actual 2D animation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the CGI in there, if the entire series was just the CGI, I would have watched it regardless, just for how good it looked. Like, it actually felt fluid.
Well, actually, the weird thing about when that shifted to the CGI is it just sort of just took on this, like, completely different feel from what it started out with.
Yeah.
And it's just, like I said, just done so well, and it's like you get into, like, the music as well, too.
Yeah, the music was pretty damn good, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's, like, even the 2D, like, even the animation, regular animation itself is pretty solid as well. Like, just really good. Both were really good. Blech, really good. But and then, of course, you got the different characters as well, like that one masochistic egg guy.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that character, I knew immediately Alex is going to like this series.
Then you have the, I think the bassist, who's tsundere for Cat Girls.
Like, as soon as the main character meows, it's like this... She's just turns around, there's sparkles everywhere, and she's blushing. It's like... and then she just gasps.
And I'm actually, I'm looking forward to the next episode because the band introduced at the end. It seems hilarious, whatever they are.
Yeah, the way they introduce
it seems
them
like,
at the end where they're singing their name.
Yeah, it's like some power rock stuff, like rock opera. Because that's pretty much what it seems like it's going to be.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I was definitely surprised at how good that series was.
Yeah.
Like, both animation-wise and just how much enjoyable it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, did you catch in the credits that UFO table is involved?
No, I don't think it did. But I also
would
saw...
you guess that they did the CG? So that would explain a lot. UFO table does generally have some good CG.
Yeah, I suppose that does make sense. Though I also saw UFO table in the Blockade Battlefront, though, given both are made by Bones, that could make some sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, well, is there anything else we wanted to talk about Show by Rock?
I got nothing.
Alright, let's see. I guess you can talk about that one boob string anime that I can't really remember.
Jeez.
I can't even
that show.
It's probably gonna be short, to be honest. Like I said, I watched the second episode last night, and here's the thing: I don't outright hate the show, which to me it's like, it actually like introduces some interesting ideas. But then, like in both episodes, did this episode 1 and 2. Somewhere along the line, it starts feeling very typical. Feels very sort of just gets this unremarkable feeling to it, and I'm sort of struggling whether I should stick with it to see the third episode, or just because that's thing. Like last night, I was like, do I really want to watch this? Do I really want to watch this? And they pretty much did the same thing that the first episode did, and that sort of gets my hopes up with this sort of like interesting, like thing or interesting character like interaction or sort of the world that the show is in. But then, like, once it sort of seems to focus more on the characters or the general, like, what seems to be the conflict in the show, it just sort of, that interest just begins to dissipate for me.
Yeah, I dropped it like 4 minutes in. I was like, wow, that sucked. Okay, moving on.
You didn't even get to Hestia, though.
Yeah, like, I could just tell, like, every indication was just bad anime. And then, like, Evelyn's just suddenly not shutting up about her boobs. Like, everything I've seen on Reddit just indicates that that's the only reason people like the show.
There's only, 2 episodes now, and she's already getting a figure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's literally been, like, 20 posts on the anime subreddit. I drew Brestia.
Oh my gosh.
Brestia?
I agree with what Will said about her, though. Like, the strings just look painful. Like, I look at that and it just feels like, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Apparently someone that...
Yeah. Interesting thing. I'll let you say it, Stranger. Sorry about that.
Some people were trying to out on Twitter, like, I saw this on some news poster, and they were just complaining, "Wow, this is cutting into my arms really bad."
Yeah.
Because I saw that I saw that on Anime News Network, and I just sort of I was like, man, people are really going nuts over the show for some reason.
I actually saw a guy doing
And
that.
the funny someone like did an edit of like a sumo wrestler doing it,
Yeah.
but the weirdest thing I didn't notice it until the second episode. That just like literally went right over my head. It's like I saw the design, I'm like, And I never noticed the boob string.
Yeah, I didn't notice it at first either until I started seeing art pop up everywhere. I'm like, who the hell is this chick? And I was like, oh crap, I know who that chick is. I didn't notice it at first.
Amusingly, the first reaction I saw to any part of her attire was her ribbon. People weren't even talking about the boob string when I last week. I was like, it's like everyone just suddenly noticed it. Yeah, I really don't. Like I said, I don't really have much to say about it.
Mm-mm.
So
it's kind of there's not really much to it.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, if you have nothing else to say, we'll move on to Mikagura School Suite, which I also found as another surprise this season.
I love the main character.
Oh yeah, she's just ridiculously fun. It's like every time every time she sees another chick, she just has this Yuri overreaction. It's like
she has no shame.
And I just loved her playing the visual novel. And it does it twice in the episode, where one of those times the repeat gags actually just make it a part funnier. She just runs off with the girl. It's like, we'll go. It's like second part's even funnier because it's like everything is destroyed. Like, what are we supposed to do now? It's like, okay, it's like, where do we build? But first, we have to go to the nurse's office. I almost find myself hoping that that's one of the simuldubs from this season, because I want to see how they do her.
Considering how many simuldubs they had last season, I would not be surprised if it was one of the ones that get simuldubbed this season.
And Funimation also has Blood Blockade, right?
Yeah, that's one I'm sure is going to have simuldub, because I imagine if it's anything like Trigun, it's definitely going to probably have a bigger audience over here than it will in Japan. Because that was the thing with Trigun. Way back when it was released, it sort of flopped in Japan and then got a huge following when it came over here. So I would not be surprised if Blood Blockade Battlefront was one of the major ones that gets dubbed.
Right. What do you think? What do you think about Show by Rock's chances of getting dubbed?
Well, let's see.
That's also a Funimation show.
Well, they dubbed Yuri Kuma last season, so I would not be surprised if it also got dubbed.
Well, either way, back to Mikagura.
Yeah.
I loved the cat character. Seemed like that also has another cat character or whatever the hell it is. But
I loved how her first reaction to seeing it was to look around it at first and then poke it in the eyes. Like, she knows where this is going. The adorable flying animal that's trying to make a contract with you, punch it in the eyes. And I also loved how it's voiced by the guy who voices Aito in The Comic Artist, and he's just doing that same sort of screechy overreaction voice. Like hyper, just screaming and stuff.
I also found it hilarious how they make the people who aren't in clubs sleeping in sleeping bags out in the hallways.
I also loved her sort of incesty cousin who is like, every time she ignores him, he just
But it's legal.
reacts.
But it's totally legal. My only qualm with it, and I know you were tweeting about this too, JJ, was the background characters.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that was either like a flaw that they didn't correct or something, but it just felt really awkward how like all the background characters that weren't essential were basically completely uncolored and just sort of not
even moving.
Yeah, they weren't even moving.
Like, if they were uncolored and moving in some way, I think it would have been okay.
Yeah, I think, another, Hall Lake sort of did something similar, but it actually had characters moving. Like, the background characters were uncolored, but it felt more stylized. Here, it just felt like they weren't colored at all.
It was just unfinished.
Yeah, unfinished. Like, right now, I'm just sort of hoping that was, like, some, like, they didn't get the right one out or something, the right version of the episode out or something, and it was just an accident or something, or if it was just something they do for the first episode, but hopefully it's not something that can...
test the waters of interest.
Yeah, maybe. But, yeah, it just felt really awkward.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, everything else was just fun, like, just her reactions to basically every chick she sees. she's just going overboard.
She's just like, oh my god, marry me now.
Yeah, and just like what you see, like this episode, it was just first introducing you to the other characters and the main character herself. But from what I've seen of the other characters, I think they could be just as fun as her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But right now, she's sitting at my most favorite protagonist this season. I think you could this series, it sort of feels like an in-between between Inno Battle and Baka and Test, but in a way in which they had, like, Shirai from a certain magical index as the protagonist. It's just so absurd, yet fun at the same time. And just the protagonist, just her reactions are just fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely a series I'm more looking forward to as well.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, anything else about Mikagura School Suite?
No.
Mm-mm.
No? Alright, let's move on to Rikan. Another series with a perverted cat.
Except for this one's not magical.
Yeah,
She can just talk to the cat.
But the cat, it likes panties.
Yes, it does. Let me see your panties. Did you see the second episode yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her dreams with the cat. It's like, show me your panties.
Oh, that's right. You were posting screens of it.
And she's like, he didn't go away until after I showed him. My pants actually showed him.
I liked the first episode a lot. I liked it. I liked how lighthearted it was. I liked how she didn't care that they were ghosts. She just wanted to help them, and she was very calm about it. And I liked the demeanor that it had. But then the second episode, it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm just sort of kind of iffy on it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I do I still like some of the characters, but the series overall, it doesn't really seem to be going anywhere interesting.
Definitely seems very slice of life-ish.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the risk you take with those kind of shows. They could be devastatingly boring sometimes. And I'm with Charli that I really enjoyed the first episode.
Charli?
Yeah, I just
It's okay. It happens a lot. I'm used to it.
Either way, I really liked the first episode, where it's like, or at least I enjoyed enough. There's like, this would be a good sideshow for me to watch in between everything else.
Exactly.
But just the second episode, it has me considering dropping it because the one thing that the second episode did that I really disliked was the reuse of the gags.
Mm-hmm.
It just, when in the first place they weren't really that funny in my opinion. Like maybe a few of them, but they kept on having the guy and the cell phone thrown at him, which they killed that essentially.
Yeah.
I got a little tired of the cat eventually.
Yeah.
And overall, the focus on lack of sleep just started making me sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right now, it and Seraph are sort of tied as most likely to be dropped for me.
Yeah. And Gunslinger Stratos.
Well, I've already dropped Gunslinger Stratos.
Yeah. I still don't know how I feel.
I'll give the show another episode. I just hope it's better than what this was, because it premiered pretty well, only to have sort of a iffy second episode.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you'll find that happens a lot.
Well, yeah,
in
like
series.
a couple of seasons ago, what was it? The one manga, the Dojin Shop series.
Thank you, guy.
Yeah, Denki Guy.
Except that's sort of reverse order. It
Yeah.
began, first episode was like sort of, I don't know why I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah,
and then the second
you
episode
got
has
the
the
second
zombies and like the like all that
the
crazy
zombies
stuff.
and
It's,
then the whole
never a
ball
more
rolling.
massive turnaround. Yeah, like never
the
a
whole
most
dirty contest thing with like the bull roll and the yeah, but yeah, I'm not quite sure how if like I'm probably going to drop Recon if it doesn't really turn anything around in the next episode or so.
Really hoping it does. But I'm not very sure that it'll happen.
Yeah. But, let's see. Moving on to another series that actually has a similar concept, if slightly different, Rin-ne. So,
I didn't watch this one.
yeah, well, basically this concept is sort of the same with the main female character who's able to see ghosts and stuff. But then you also have the main male character who's basically a Shinigami. But the thing about him is he's like this really huge cheapskate. So he's like he's basically pinching every I'm not quite sure, small yen or whatever they can. And the way the show works is it's also a comedy, but it shows like every time he brings out a new like item or something that's special for the whatever he's doing at the time, they'll have that like a shonen announcer basically describing the item, but then the shonen announcer will then like tell you how cheap it is at the end. And it's like for every special item he has, it's like super cheap. And then when he asks the girl for money, he's like, Is it too much to ask for like $5?
Yeah. Wasn't it 10 yen?
10.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Or 50, I can't remember what it was. But
At the beginning it was like 10 yen, but like later on when he's buying the flaming wheel thing, it's like
500.
500.
I also loved how at the end when he starts realizing he can get money out of the box thing, the new
Yeah,
mail,
it's like
whatever it is.
Those cheapskates will be cursed or whatever.
I also like how when the girl dropped her phone, he was trying to keep it away from her. It's like, you will be haunted, and so and such. But yeah.
Yeah. And then that whole thing with the big chihuahua. It's like the chihuahua eats him at the beginning, and then later on it's like the chihuahua and that other ghost guy sort of mixed together, and
It was just so strange.
It was just absurd, and that chihuahua had extremely large eyes. But yeah, like I think between the two, I'd probably stick with Rin-ne more than Recon, depending on how it plays out in the next couple of episodes. Like, it was a pretty enjoyable first episode, I thought.
I mean, I thought the same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, and let's see, anything else about Rin-ne?
Nothing I can add.
All right, then let's move on to the Heroic Legends of Arslan.
Which you were absolutely shocked that I loved.
Well, it's not so much shocked as I didn't really think you'd enjoy it as much as you did.
Yeah, I think I ended up giving the first episode a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like I'm currently reading one of the manga adaptations for it, the ones that's done by the Full Metal Alchemist author. Basically, the main character and the two main characters in the manga look like Edward Elric and Ling from Full Metal Alchemist, but they don't quite seem like the art style doesn't seem to have gone over as at the same in the same style. At least I thought, but sort of got the similarities. But my only issue with it was the production values. Like, the CGI armies, they felt a bit awkward to me. And given that it's a series that has a number of large fights, I think it could be a bit awkward at times. It'll be.
I actually didn't notice that there was any CGI in it.
I didn't either.
It was pretty blatant for me at the beginning, but I don't know. Maybe it was just me and Adam. I think he also noticed it, but it wasn't as big of a deal for him. But as far as like I said, I have read a lot of the manga, and considering this adaptation is based on the more recent manga instead of the original light novel, if it can keep as many of the interesting moments later on, I think it'll still be a really good series.
I love how it's a anime adaptation of a manga adaptation of a novel.
Light novel. Well, actually, there was another manga adaptation before this one, I think. So it's like manga like the second manga adaptation of a light novel adaptation that has an anime now. But given that it's written by the guy who also wrote The Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and considering there's going to be a new Legend of Galactic Heroes reboot eventually, I'm thinking this might be them testing the waters to see if people will still enjoy this a super smart tactical sort of anime series or strategic anime series. That's kind of my thought. Because there was actually a Legend of Arslan movie years and years ago. I think it was back either in the 90s or 80s. But yeah, so far the anime has definitely been sticking close to the manga, or at least the scenes from the manga.
It wasn't. See, I don't really have much to say on it because it doesn't seem like something that I would be particularly interested in. It's kind of under the radar for me.
Yeah. Between the two series, between Legend of Arslan and the Heroic Legends of the Heroic Legends of Arslan and the Legends of the Galactic Heroes, I'd say between them, I definitely say The Legend of the Galactic Heroes has a lot more interesting stuff to say. Like, Heroic Legends of Arslan, it's more focused on fantasy, or more medieval style, heavy medieval, or Persian style fantasy, and stuff it has to say more or less pertains to the world itself, whereas in the Heroic Legends of... I'm getting them confused. The Legends of the Galactic Heroes, it's talking about a lot of more grander, more important stuff that I think is more important today than the stuff in Heroic Legends of Arslan. Like, the Legend of the Galactic Heroes is talking huge stuff like the ideas of nations and stuff and how they pertain to people and stuff. It has so much wisdom in it that I feel is more important, but Heroic Legends of Arslan has a lot of interesting moments as well that I feel like they'll be able to keep people's interest in it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it during the season. I might revisit it later though.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure whether or not, depending on how popular it is, I can see it getting another season. Considering it's an adaptation of an adaptation, you still have a whole bunch of light novels you could go off of if you've already caught up to the manga. So, whether or not they'll have another season should entirely depend on how popular it is with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't really say too much about it other than the episode I did see was suitably epic, and it feels like there's a lot they could do right with it if they utilize their assets right.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, it does, in the same way as the Legend of the Galactic Heroes does, it does do a good job of depicting the more gruesome aspects of war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing where it goes.
Yeah, so far the manga has been pretty interesting, so I definitely expect it to be a pretty good series. It's just the production values to me sort of have me a bit worried, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about Arslan?
Nope.
No? Alright.
I'll just say that I'm pretty much in agreement with Stranger on it.
Alright, I guess then moving on, I can't understand what my husband is saying, Season 2.
And they had lots of sex after this.
Yeah. Well, my main problem with this season is it's sort of the same problem I had with the first season in that it doesn't really feel like it feels like they're putting too much in 2 minutes of an episode. Like, you don't really have much. Like, in the second episode, it seemed like it was more focused on drama and stuff, but given that they only had 2 minutes, the first episode felt like it handled its 2 minutes better than the second. At least to me.
I thought it was fine. I do see your point that you make about the show trying to fit in like half an hour worth of content to like 3 minutes.
Well, it's not quite on the same level of trying to fit in half an hour worth of content into 2 minutes like Teekyu was. But yeah. But back on, I can't understand what my husband is saying.
I did want to ask one thing real quick. Isn't Teekyu the same studio as Punchline?
What?
The first couple seasons where they changed studios, apparently.
Yeah, they changed studios, though. Considering it's TQ, you could have any studio make it, and there wouldn't be much difference.
I did want to know if these animators are on some sort of substance.
That's what it feels like after you watch a single episode. Don't ask me how it feels like to marathon the entire thing. I don't even remember.
You just woke up like, what happened last night?
Pretty much. What the fuck did I do? It's like the Hangover, whatever sequel they're on right now. I have not watched The Hangover, so I do not know. But
You use it as an example, and it's just completely off from what actually happens.
probably. Oh god. Yeah, TQ was just absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have an off series going on at the same time as their current one, and they have another season announced as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after the first episode, they announced.
It's like, hey, we're doing another season.
And it's like this is, yeah, they basically summarized the series in like 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes is an entire anime, but it feels like you were doing crack. But anything else to say about I can't understand what my husband is saying? I don't think we have to talk about TQ anymore.
Actually, sort of forgot we were even talking about that in the first place. We just went to TQ and we're like, okay, we'll just talk about TQ now.
There isn't much to say about TQ outside of that Predator at the end. The Predator is an exchange. Basically, the episode was like Men in Black, and it was all references to like E.T. and stuff. At the very end, it was like there's this one character who was also an alien in it, which don't ask why. I don't even remember why. But basically, as they're trying to reveal her that she's an alien to the other characters, the pink-haired chick basically shouts out, "The Predator is now an exchange student in here," or something, and then you see the Predator from Predator right there.
What the hell is this show?
It's amazing in how
It's supposed to be about tennis. Or the tennis club.
they don't even care about tennis anymore. Like the TQ offshoot, they don't even call it a sports in the on any list. It's just school and comedy. It's like the most absurd show ever. It's basically like if that one tennis episode from Kill la Kill, but you saw the entire thing from Mako's point of view. It's just hyper and almost like it's on something.
Okay, and 4 seasons of TQ to know what?
Marathon them all in one night.
Well, I'll live tweet this shit.
Yes, do that. But,
I'm just waiting. I'm like, no, it's violating my mind.
but yeah, is there anything else we want to talk about? I can't understand what my husband is saying.
The closing is fucking great.
Yeah. It was alright.
Yeah,
I think it's catchy.
What was it, Stranger?
I just want to say that I did think it was really cute at the end, though.
Yeah.
Like right before the ending, he just drops the umbrella and kisses her. That's the type of moments I love best out of the show. Is just little cute moments, because you get almost nothing with like married couples in series.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing I like about the series, though. I still, like, my complaint is still the same, that I really wish it had been at least given, like, 7 or 14 minutes at the very least. It just doesn't feel right with 2 to 3.
Yeah, if it got, like, a full episodes, it could be really, really damn good.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I got it at, like, a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. That's pretty much the only thing keeping it from being a whole lot better than it is. But, okay, have any of you watched Seraph of the End?
Yep.
Yeah? Yeah. What do you think of it? Like...
Behind, Plastic Memories and Arslan, I think it was my third favorite premiere of the season.
Yeah. Like, it had a really good start, but something about the series is just... I don't know, like, the atmosphere is intense and all, but something isn't really jiving that well with me. Like,
yeah, there's something, like, not clicking with me that it's just... I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. I mean, I'm thinking it might have something to do with the fact that they're having him in, like, high school or something for no apparent reason. But I'm not sure if that's it either. It's just something about it isn't clicking, even though what the content itself is kind of enjoyable.
There's... Like, everything that they say makes sense, but there's something missing.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what it is. I've been thinking about it, and I don't know.
Yeah, I just can't put my finger on what it is.
And then I'm listening to this, and I just don't understand what the hell you're talking about at all. It's just something missing. I was like, did I not notice something? Like, what happened?
I don't know. But that's the thing, like, I enjoyed what I was watching, but at the same time, there's something in the back of my mind that just doesn't feel right about it.
I think it might be that, like, I didn't quite connect with any of the characters at all. And then, like, they kill off over half of them.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
And so, like, there's this whole disconnect where it's like, you should feel for this guy, but you don't because you don't know anything about them.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, they had a good start, but you killed off all these characters before developing them, and it didn't
or
really
even
work.
developing the main character to a decent extent to where we could actually relate.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue I found. Like, even Attack on Titan, you had some development before they actually killed them off. They killed off some of the characters.
It reminds me a lot of the first episode of Dead Man Wonderland. Which in the first episode of that, like, he's just at class about his own business when someone just comes and just, like, straight up murders his entire class.
Yeah.
So that's what it's reminding me of, so I really hope it doesn't end like that, because that sucked horribly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say that it doesn't have, like, a lot of potential to end up sucking, but from what I see now in the first episode, it looks like it's gonna have a really nice dark atmosphere.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing, like, I actually already watched the second episode, but it does have, like, a more post-apocalyptic-y and darker atmosphere to it. But, just the elements themselves, something about them doesn't click with me. But,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll notice more after I watch the second episode. But right now, I'm not understanding what y'all are saying at all.
Yeah, I sort of felt the same way with the opening in the second episode. Like, I enjoyed the opening, but something about it didn't really click with me either. Just the way it was designed.
I haven't watched the second episode yet, so I can't really say.
Yeah.
I don't think I've noticed too many openings this season that were really great.
Yeah, well, for starters, most of the openings haven't come out entirely yet, but yeah, I have been noticing a lot of pretty good openings this season.
Really? JoJo, Nichijou crossover?
You should just call it Nichi JoJo.
Really? Bro. That's a crossover I don't think I would have ever seen.
But anyways, let's see. Is there anything else we want to talk about Seraph of the End?
No.
I've got all my thoughts out.
No? Alright. Then I guess we'll move on to Ore Monogatari.
Man, Araragi changed like crazy. Yeah, like so far it feels like very typical shoujo, like kind of like Ao Harry Rat or whatever.
Yeah. But
Which,
just the way they have like the main character just the way they designed him.
is he like 9 foot tall?
9 foot tall, huge lips. He looks like a judo wrestler or something.
Bear in mind, he's a middle schooler going into high school.
Middle school. Oh,
Well,
God.
okay.
And you see that scene at the beginning with him still in middle school and comparing the height from him and his
I
classmates.
definitely knew freaking middle schoolers that were like that going into high school. So that's not way out of the question for me to believe.
At least it's not like Recorder to Rancel, where he looks like he's 20 when he's like in elementary, or was it like preschool?
I think he was in third grade. I think it was.
Yeah, the whole concept of Recorder to Rancel, it's like the high schooler chick looks like she's like a middle schooler, and the middle schooler looks like he's 20. Her middle school brother looks like he's 20.
I mean, elementary school.
And basically, they make a whole lot of pedophile jokes on at his expense, like, "Oh, he's a pedophile. We should arrest him." Like, it sort of got annoying, but eventually, like around the last season, they sort of stopped doing that and made it a whole lot better. At least I thought. But anyways, back on track. Let's just get back to what we were talking about.
Ore Monogatari.
Yeah, or I think the English title is My Love Story or something.
I haven't seen the English title anywhere, so I don't know. I wrote down both titles for almost everything, and I didn't see that one anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's on Crunchyroll where they have the title right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just called My Love Story.
Yeah. But
the art for it really bothers me.
yeah, it was unusual. I mean,
Their faces are they're not very expressive, except for the main character.
yeah.
Everyone else is very, very dead.
That's a really typical shoujo art style.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I've never liked shoujo art.
Yeah.
Main girl literally looks like copy paste of Futaba from Ao Harry Rat.
Yeah.
And that's like the most generic female lead in a shoujo.
Yeah, like, my main complaint about it is I can see it being a bit frustrating if the entire series is basically him trying to get her to, basically trying to get her and his attractive friend together, even without realizing that she likes him instead. Like, I can see that getting frustrating.
Apparently, that seems to resolve itself pretty quick, from what I've heard.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was a cute show.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty cute.
Yeah, I give it a really solid score. I just hope it doesn't end up like every other shoujo I've watched and just end up frustrating myself until I
Yeah.
end up dropping it.
Yeah, that could be pretty bad if it does.
And, like, especially like, what was it, Tanari Nakabutsu-kun? They had like stellar first couple episodes and then just went to shit. Like, I don't think I've seen anything else just drop the ball as hard as that did. It just turned into, oh, I like you, but now I don't like you. Oh, now I like you, but now I don't like you.
Yeah.
And it just kept on and on like that. I'm just sitting there hitting my head up against the keyboard. That's probably what Alex feels like about Nisekoi. I understand your pain, man.
Just tell her already. Stop doing this.
Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about it, but it does seem pretty solid so far.
Yeah. Alright, okay then, I guess we'll move on to, Gunslinger Stratos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even finish it because of how bland it was.
It's kind of mediocre so far. I'm gonna give it at least one more episode, though, to make sure it doesn't get interesting.
I just watched the second episode and it gives quite a bit more information, but it doesn't.
It seemed like every dumb, it just
Like
didn't
it sounds like it's supposed to be this cool badass premise, but it's nothing special.
It just feels like every bland anime from the last couple of seasons. Like, for whatever reason, I'm getting a huge, the regular at Magic High School vibe from it, and it's just, no, I've already learned my lesson from before. But, yeah.
Alex.
Stop sending stuff in the chat, Alex.
Sorry, it doesn't seem we're particularly inspired by the show. So.
we don't really feel like talking about it, do we?
Not even bother watching.
Yeah,
it,
no.
Yeah. I guess if we have really nothing to say about the show.
Yeah, just like after the first episode, there was like pretty much nothing. Like, what I said was there was nothing that stood out to me, but I do want to kind of figure out what the mysteries are going.
Yeah, a lot of the questions that they bring up in the first episode are answered in the second episode, and then they bring up a whole bunch of new questions that they're kind of like, duh. Like, you know the answers to them already, and they're kind of like, I wonder what this is. And it's like, well, you should know this.
But I guess we'll move on to the disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan. Yeah, that's basically the solar or not of this season.
Well.
Yeah, it's like it. I thought it was all right. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't really have anything interesting going on.
It's basically, let's take these character designs and just make them have entirely fucking different personalities.
Yeah.
It just feels like they recycled it to try and draw in fans, and it's just not working.
Yeah. Like, I will admit there were some cute moments, but by and large it was just, like, I was falling asleep from it, just because of how bland it was. It's just, I was just nodding off as the episode went along because of how bored I was.
Yeah, like,
and of course that Haruhi design. Yeah.
all the designs would suck.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Mikagura. Oh, Mikagura.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, at first I thought, hey, this might not be so bad, but then it was.
Yeah.
Which is really disappointing, because when I first heard it announced, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be like the movie, that's gonna be super hype! And then I heard more about it, I was like, oh my god, no. Why would you do this to such an interesting premise?
And now you know how I felt after Soul Eater Not.
Yeah, that looks so bad. I wasn't even gonna try it. I was just obligated at this point to try Nagato-chan though, and I really regret it. Yeah, I think it's my least favorite premiere of the season after Danmachi.
Yeah, for me, I think my two least favorites were Gunslinger Stratos and Punchline. But, yeah, Nagato Yuki-chan was pretty low as well.
Damn, you weren't ready for the punchline.
Database. Whoa.
Think you'll never get to hear that song again.
No, we probably will. It'll just be years and years in the future.
And then they have an entirely different opening.
Probably.
Animated by Studio Dean again.
But yeah. Anything else about Nagato Yuki-chan?
Don't watch it.
Alright, okay then, I guess moving on, you can talk about Otaku Teacher, or whatever it's called. I don't care.
Or Otaku Teacher.
Yeah, the way you felt about Tenmaki,
yeah.
whatever it's called, Stranger is
String
pretty much
anime.
almost the same way. I feel almost the same way about Denpakyoshi.
Well, the teacher has a boob string. Damn. That might make it more interesting. He's like, yeah, you like my ribbon?
My milkshakes bring all the boys to my yard.
Oh my god.
He just, I don't know, I was watching, he just seems so creepy.
He just seems like an asshole. That's
He does.
one of the
He
reasons
seems
I don't like the
creepy
show.
asshole, and just like...
Especially at the end, I was just like joking about like having those three girls. I mean, they did pick on one. What they did was messed up. But it's like at the same time, he's like, what he's doing is essentially illegal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's, the more I watched the episode, the less I liked it. I was just sort of glad to be done with it. I don't plan on watching any more of it.
Mm-mm.
I do feel like they kind of deserved all that after making her drink chalk. That was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, first episode was okay. I'm probably gonna give it one more episode, but that and Gunslinger Stratos are probably the two I'm most likely to drop at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really too much to say.
Otherwise, I got nothing to say about the show.
Mm-mm.
Alright, any other simulcasts you want to talk about?
Did anyone else check out Sound Euphonium?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yeah. I dropped it like a couple minutes in.
I liked it.
I did too. Like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be anything like particularly deep, but it does seem like it's gonna be pretty simple fun.
Yeah, I liked that it took its time. I guess I mean it's a little slow, but it's like to me it's like we'll get there to the point of this when we get there.
Yeah, I just found it very bland. Like, not Gunslinger Stratos bland, but just, It didn't seem like it had much going for it for me. At the very least, it didn't look like something I would enjoy.
I do gotta say, KyoAni is on point like always with the animation.
Yeah, but even then, for KyoAni standards, it just sort of seemed just sort of okay, like nothing special from them.
I mean, there's not really too much that I think was that far above the art for Euphonium. Like, the only thing I can really think of that really stood out that much over, like, their regular art was the Nagato movie. Or Disappearance. No. No, that image came into my mind. I don't want it. Yeah, the Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Which that was probably their best animation. Oh god, a movie of that show. Would you
What's
watch
going
it?
to happen in the future now, stranger?
No! You'll have to pay me lots of money to watch
To be
it.
fair, they've made movies for like, what was it, that one, Tomoko Market that nobody really liked that much of, and didn't they have like a Beyond the Boundaries movie as well?
Yeah, KyoAni has had a lot of mediocre shit recently.
Yeah.
And then there was fucking Chunibyo Rin.
Yeah.
Which I still occasionally go on rants over that piece of shit second season. Which, like that thing I always like to bring up, how it had literally no character development. They took these good characters and just, let's just make jokes out of them. So I pretty much ranted it to anyone who will listen. I'll just meet some random people on the street. Hey, have you heard about Chunibyo Rin? Let me tell you a thing or two about Chunibyo Rin.
And then they run off scared as hell.
Come back, I gotta tell you more about Rika and how she's shit now. Just take my money and go. God, I think the only thing they did really good recently was Amagi Brilliant Park.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree. Like, Amagi was pretty damn fun, but I can't really think of any other series that by them that I enjoyed just as much, because before that you had, like, Beyond the Boundary, and Chu Ren as well.
Tomoko Market, or Free.
Yeah. Well, Free, that's basically fan service for girls. Basically, it's the overly fan servicey show about dudes who are always shirtless.
Yeah. I always find those shows so boring.
Actually, I have heard Free is pretty good, though I don't want to touch it.
Oh, wait, that's the one with the...
That's the swimming
The swimming one.
Yeah.
Okay, I first saw that when it was on the front page of Reddit, and they're like, look at these settings, and they were just these beautiful screens of the settings in that anime. But then in the comments, everyone's like, but this is the gayest thing ever, and then they show all the gay moments. I was like, well then.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much anything KyoAni touches, like, at least you're pretty damn sure the animation is going to be good.
Yeah.
Which, they're the ones who did Clanad, Canon, and Air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of really good shit back in the day. And then I don't know what the fuck happened. I mean, they started with Full Metal Panic and ended with all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this doesn't end up like all the other recent stuff, except for Amagi.
Yeah. But, any other simulcasts?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
No one else is watching Fate Stay Night other than me, are they?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Damn it, Adam, where are you here right now? That dude
Well, I sent him a message, like, do you want to be on our show? And he never responded to me.
Yeah, he never does anymore. Yeah, I do want to say that, like, after Classic Memories, I think Fate Stay Night is the second most interesting thing I have right now.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's really weird for me to say for an action series. But, like, it's got Ufotable's absolutely beautiful animation behind it. Plus, in addition, I'm really loving all the characters of the show so far. So long as it doesn't end up with, like, the stupidest ending, like Fate Zero, it's probably going to end up at, like, a strong early to mid-9 for me. Yeah, like, already the second half just started off with a huge bang, and it's just really fucking interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Of simulcasts that haven't released yet, the only ones that I can think of are that one Yamada-kun one, and Ninja Slayer, which is going to be now bi-weekly, isn't it? And like half episode length.
That's depressing as hell.
Yeah. And then Knights of Sidonia Season 2, which has probably one, if it's anything like the manga, which it looks like it's going more back into line with the manga, it's going to have one of the weirdest harems ever. It's like, you've got the gender-neutral character who's slowly becoming a girl, who has the highest chance of being with the main character. And then you have this new character who just so happens to be a giant, fleshy mecha chick who communicates with the main character through a giant tentacle.
And the tentacles continue.
The tentacles continue. So those are like the two main love interests. Then you've got the relatively normal captain chick, or not captain chick, the basically operations chick who in the Command series, who's relatively normal, who doesn't have the slightest chance with the main character. And then you have the totally not Hatsune Miku android that they introduce later. She looks like Hatsune Miku, long ponytails and blue hair and all. But it's like just the absurdest harem ever. But other than that, I can't think of any other simulcasts that are coming out that look interesting yet.
Saya.
Oh yeah, Grisaya.
I actually forgot about that.
Screw you, buddies. I think I like the first season. It's got both these are gonna be rushed as hell, but still enjoyable, like incredibly enjoyable. But of course, no one remembers it now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there's no other simulcasts we want to talk about, let's see. So now let's, in place of our anime recommendations or our weeks and stuff, what would you say your top 5 simulcasts this season are?
Mine would probably be Plastic Memories, Show by Rock, Shokugeki no Soma. I'm trying to think what else. Blockade Battlefront, and that last spot's gonna be sort of hard to decide.
Let's put Nisekoi in it.
Yeah. Nisekoi.
I personally guess I would put Punchline because I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Me, I would say Blockade Battlefront. Let's see, Food Wars for sure. I'd say Show by Rock, Mikagura School Suite.
Or maybe I'd tie that for fifth. Maybe.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Food Wars, Blockade Battlefront, Mikagura. Let's see, I've got Blockade Battlefront, Food Wars, Show by Rock, Mikagura. Was there one other one? I guess I'd also give it to either Arslan or Rin-ne. I still haven't decided. Still too early for that one. How about you, Stranger?
Mine would probably be Plastic Memories, of course. Fate Stay Night, Arslan Senki, Awari no Seraph, and Shokugeki no Soma.
And yours, Charlie?
I'd probably say Food Wars and Plastic Memories. And then probably Show by Rock, then Reiken, and then Mikagura School Suite.
Alright. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or shall we end this show?
No, I got nothing.
Good.
Alright. Well, hopefully you enjoyed our show, and if you would, please be sure to subscribe to our channel, or like our videos and stuff, or just in general share the show with anybody you know, anybody you like, anybody you hate, anybody you don't know, that stranger in the background, that creepy stalker, that weird pervert cat, just anyone. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, all of us and this podcast are on there. We are also, me, Stranger, and Alex are all on my anime list. I'm not sure about Charlie.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we're all on my anime list, and you can also find me, Stranger, and is Charlie on Ask.fm or?
Yes.
Alright, you can find me, Stranger, and Charlie on Ask.fm as well. And we would like to thank Charli for coming on. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, and, well, until next time, later.
Peace.
Later.